examples, one company has declared officially that they gave those electoral bonds to ward off excise issues which had arisen with the government. The other company who has purchased electoral bonds worth more than 450 crores from their accounts declared to SEBI has been the recipient of several mining contracts and various other favors.
You already argued, Mr. Bhushan. You're in rejoinder.
These are all auctions. Mining contract,
you're in the rejoinder now.
Kickbacks. You participate in auctions.
Don't re-argue your case.
I'm not re-arguing. I'm just pointing out that that's my argument. Now, what is the government's response to that? So how do they answer this question that this defeats the citizens' right to information? One answer that they have given, I was coming step by step. One answer that they had given was that there was a competing interest of bringing down cash or bringing down unaccounted money into the donations and finances of political parties. I am just answering that issue. The other argument that they have made is that there is a right to privacy. That's the argument made at the end. Firstly, my lord, the right to privacy doesn't extend to companies. It's an individual human right. Even in Puttaswamy, your lordship have laid down that that's an individual's human right. It's not a right of a company. So therefore, so far as those amendments which have been made to the Income Tax Act, to the Companies Act, etc., which anonymize donations by companies to political parties and remove the requirement of declaring who you have donated to or where you have spent this money, that right cannot be invoked for companies. The right of privacy cannot be invoked for companies. And even otherwise, my lord, if let's assume that there are some individuals who are giving this money, the question is, can those individuals claim a right to privacy which overrides the right to information of citizens? Even under the RTI Act, if your lordship recall, there is an exemption for privacy. There is an exemption for personal information. But that exemption stated that only that personal information which has no bearing on public affairs and which cannot be overridden by public interest is exempted. If there is a public interest override, even that information is not exempted. So in my respectful submission, my lord, that privacy argument cannot be used to say that my right to privacy about which political party I am donating to overrides the citizen's right to information, to know about who the political party is getting funded from. So that right, my lord, in a clearly would override, even if there is a right of privacy of an individual. Of course, companies don't have that right, but even if an individual has that right of privacy about donating what they have donated to political parties, in my respectful submission, that is overridden by the citizen's right to information. The other argument that was made was, again, on the basis of what the finance minister had said. It was argued that this is to prevent victimization. Now, firstly, as your lordship pointed out, the government would certainly know, or the party which runs the government can find out, look, this company had purchased electoral bonds worth 100 crores. We have not received anything from it. Therefore, obviously, they have given it to the opposition parties. And therefore, that much information which will still allow the government to victimize that company is always available with the government. Even if they do not use their control over the state bank to find out which company has given electoral bonds to which party. The argument that was made was that no, there is an elaborate system of protecting that information. It's very simple, my lord. Obviously, when a person purchases an electoral bond, he gives KYC, etc., the bank would have to record that this person or this company has purchased this electoral bond, and the number of the electoral bond would have to be recorded somewhere. Thereafter, my lord, when a party encashes that electoral bond, the party the number of the electoral bond which that party has encashed would have to be recorded. Otherwise, my lord, it would make it open for counterfeiting. And therefore, you have to record these two informations. So therefore, it's not so difficult. If the government wants, State Bank of India would certainly know. And if the government exerts sufficient pressure on the State Bank, they can come to know. Even otherwise, my lord, the government would know as to which companies have purchased electoral bonds worth how much, and that we have not got it.
So one point is, of course, you have highlighted the citizens' right to know. What is the next?
Right to know that the sphere of that the justification for victimization, etc., doesn't really apply. In fact, it's only the citizens who are being deprived of this information. Each political party would know, can know, and certainly the government can know. A citizen cannot, my lord, scan the.
Mr. Bhushan, I think point in rejoinder.
And then, my lord, just two more things. There was an interim order, as your lordship saw,
Yes,
asking the
12th of
Election
April
Commission. I am respectfully saying, because they are going to open electoral bonds window for this state assembly elections any day now. It can be opened tomorrow, it can be opened day after. And again, my lord, till today, till March 2022, electoral bonds that had been purchased were over 9,000, under 10,000 crores. Till today, I understand that the electoral bonds that have been purchased in this last 1.5 years has taken the total to 13,000 crores. Now, today, if they open the electoral bonds, again, in this assembly election, again electoral bonds will go. I am respectfully, my lord, requesting your lordship, even if your lordship does not stay the issue of electoral bonds after today, at least one thing your lordship should say, that it should be made clear to the parties who are purchasing electoral bonds that these may be subject to disclosure. Because this court has the power under the scheme also to seek information from the State Bank of India. And I am requesting, my lord, that at the end of this, if your lordships agree with us that this electoral bond is unconstitutional, etc., then your lordship should disclose as to which company has given to which party, etc. And even if that information has to be obtained from the State Bank of India. And that's why, my lord, I am saying that at least today, because last time the same thing happened in that Election Commission appointment case. I had an interim application. I mentioned that interim application on Thursday, on saying that there is one post vacant of the Election Commission. And the court is proposing.
Except for the difference, except for the fact that after the 12th of April 19 order,
Yes.
when you moved a fresh IA for stay,
That was for that particular.
that stay was declined by the then
Yes,
judge.
yes, that was at that stage
Mr.
for
Bhushan,
that particular.
That's why I asked,
bond.
what is exactly your prayer? You asking for quashing of the?
Of course, I am asking for caution.
Just 1 minute. Are you asking for quashing of the scheme, or you want that a disclosure should be made?
No, I am asking for quashing of the scheme.
Okay, therefore, you had to answer that question.
And in case your lordships.
Mr. Bhushan, just one more question.
Yes.
The scheme has one advantage. There's a KYC at least. You will accept that there's an advantage in that.
No, that's all right. If the anonymity is removed, I have no problem.
So therefore, you argue on that.
I'm saying I'm challenging the scheme because of the anonymity. Remove the anonymity, I have no problem with electoral bonds. I'm challenging the anonymity of the electoral bond. So that is defeating the right to information of the citizens. So what I'm saying is.
So you are basically pressing for the entire scheme to be set aside, and you're also arguing that the amendment should therefore be. Got your third point also. You made your point. You then conclude now?
Yes.
You can just wrap up now. And
your lordship may just see this. I mean, I don't even have to read.
there's something crucial that we have missed out. You can show that, just flag it for us, and then we'll look at it definitely.
So I have, my lord, at page 36, I have given the quotations from the Law Commission's report on
Fair enough.
electoral.
That we'll have a look at.
Now, these are quite important because they were suggesting exactly the opposite. They also suggested that this 7.5% is also too much. large corporates can donate huge amounts of money. And my lord, Brazil Supreme Court, which we have also mentioned, Brazil Supreme Court has banned para
Also, that may
73.
have its own consequences in terms of source of collection of money.
Pardon, Lord?
That may have its own consequences. Because election funding is a major issue. It's not something very simple,
Yes, yes.
complicated issue.
So,
Anyway, we have understood your.
so what is happening as a result of this is, as it is, my lord, the reason why elections became a money game, which is mentioned in all these reports, whether it's Law Commission or the Constitution Review Committee or various judgments of this court, one of the reasons is, my lord, that we have first passed the post in our system at two levels, when we vote for our candidate and then when we select the government. First past the post is that only that candidate who receives the highest number of votes, even if he gets only 30% vote, becomes the sole representative of that constituency. Second first past the post is only that party or coalition which has a majority gets the whole government, and the rest of the opposition, even if they have 49% seats, gets nothing. The result of these two first past the post system is that when you vote for your candidate at the time of elections, you are not necessarily voting for the candidate or the party that you consider to be the best. If you feel that that best party has no chance of winning, you don't want to waste your vote. So then you say, all right, these are the only two parties which have some chance of winning or forming the government. I will choose the least bad, in my perception, among these two parties.
How is that relevant, Mr. Bhushan?
Pardon, Lord?
How is this argument relevant?
Because,
Are we going to change the constitution?
no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the reason why elections have become a game of money is partly because of this first past the post system, because the perception as to which party has some chance of winning is formed on the basis of the visibility of the parties, and this is stated by the Election Commission very clearly, by the Law Commission very clearly in their report.